I'm going to do something that I never do on this channel, and that is an unscripted reaction video. This isn't going to be something I'm going to start doing a lot. This is a special occasion because there's something about the phenomenon of the H-Bomber Guy video and James Somerton that is fascinating. And I saw this apology video last night, and I was just blown away by it, and I felt like I might have something to say. I don't know if it adds anything to the conversation, but I just feel like I want to do this, and we'll see what happens. His apology video was uploaded last night, and it's already gone. It didn't last a day. That's how bad this apology is. So we're going to go through, and I'm going to try to see what I like about it, what I don't. I haven't looked into too much analysis of this, but I did read like 100 comments on the original video, and every single comment was basically like, we're happy that you're fine, but no one wants you to come back. So yeah, I'm going to play this, we'll stop it, and I'll make some comments. Welcome to my first ever reaction video.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry for
I just want to thank Yept here for re-uploading this. I didn't get to record it myself, so thank you, Yept. I don't know how long this is going to last on your channel. Good luck.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry for taking so long to make this video or to say anything. I'm in the hospital. I've been in the hospital for a little over a week. I tried to do something really stupid.
So I saw some people criticizing him for opening his video this way, sobbing and talking about how he had tried to do something stupid and was in the hospital. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, if that's the reality of the situation, I don't think that it's necessarily wrong to talk about it. I don't know if you should open your video with it. It does make people feel like they're being emotionally manipulated right away, and that's not very good. But I was concerned about this guy. Regardless of what he did, I mean, I don't think that, he should, quote unquote, do something stupid. You know what I mean? And when when it feels like the entire world has suddenly turned against you, then I can see how you can be driven to that point. And I was afraid that he might get there, and if we were to believe his words here, then it sounds like that did happen. So I'm glad that he's okay. And we'll keep going from there. Now, we do have the reflection in his glasses here of the screen. I don't know if anyone's looked into that. From the way he delivers this apology, I don't believe it's scripted, but maybe he has some notes of some certain points that he wants to make sure that he hits and doesn't forget to mention. That would be smart. I think anyone would do that. So if that's what we're seeing here, fine.
I'm only here now because before I did it, I called my dad to talk to him one more time, and he figured out something was wrong and called paramedics or 911 they got here, and I woke up in the hospital, and yeah,
I suppose you could criticize him for like going into all this detail, trying to guilt people and make them sympathize for him. I don't think we should be too hard on him for this. Maybe he should have just kept it simple and moved on from it. But I don't know. I don't know how I would feel if I was in his position and I was just speaking unscripted. I don't know what I would say to handle this. So again, I'm not going to be too hard on his recounting of the events of what was, quite possibly the worst day of his life.
Anyway, I'm not trying to make this a sob story. I'm just trying to explain why I've been so quiet. I had a friend from back home. I'm checking my emails and stuff. Yeah. But anyway,
I think the main issue with a lot of this is going to be that people don't know how much of this is a performance, right? I mean, he's become, anyone who is in YouTube content creation and does scripted work, we all get into a performance aspect of how we present what we want to say. And so this guy's used to being in front of the camera. So, and him being accused of being a total fraud makes every single little gesture and pause he makes suspect. So I don't know how much to believe. We don't know if this was the first take. We don't know if this was rehearsed. The guy's really put himself in a very, very difficult position to be believed.
I want to say that I'm really, really sorry. Really, really sorry. For the stuff in the videos, not crediting people, and for a lot of videos, I did the opening titles thing.
I feel like with such a strong accusation against you, not accusation, I mean proof, like to apologize and say that you're sorry for the stuff that happened in the videos. The stuff that happened, not the stuff that he did, and to not crediting people. It's just like, I feel like if you really wanted to come out here and actually apologize, you would have to say, I want to apologize for my acts of plagiarism. Like, you need to. I watched this video last night. I don't think he says the word plagiarism once. We'll see as we rewatch today. But I mean, that in itself is just so telling of where this guy's mindset is, that I don't think he's fully accepted what's going on.
And I tried to put, like, this is based on X's, this person's research or this person's book. But I know now that wasn't enough. That wasn't okay. And then there were a lot of times that there were a lot of times that stuff just got put in and there was no attempt at crediting anybody.
And again, this is just like H. Bomber Guy said when he was talking about Musin with the with using the passive voice. That stuff got put in. It's like, well, who put it there? Right? It's either him or it's his co-writer. And we will go on to see what he does with his co-writer. But I mean, right away, like, he's already using passive voice. He's already trying to take himself out of the equation several times already. It's not a good sign.
And I'm really, really sorry. And I'm not sorry that I got caught. I'm sorry for ever doing it. I honestly didn't realize that I was hurting people.
That line has come across a lot of scrutiny, that he didn't realize he was hurting people. And I don't know, how do you comment about that? Like, I suppose, like, what he did was just disrespecting people's work, disrespecting the art form, disrespecting journalism, disrespecting people in his own community. But when you do that, I guess you don't actively think about harm that you might be doing to their lives. Like H Bomber guy brought up, that the fact that he was profiting off of other people's work, and in many cases not even crediting them or directing people to check them out, him profiting off of it meant that they were not getting the attention or the money or the respect or the opportunities that they deserved, that they worked hard for, and that is harming their lives. And I don't think that that's something that he was actually thinking about. I don't think he thought about that at all. I just think he thought, well, I can just take this. So I'm not going to go too hard on him for the, I didn't know I was harming anyone. I think he sees it now, and that's what's important.
And now that I know that I was hurting people, just really sorry.
I believe the guy feels bad. I do. I don't think he's evil. But it's been a lot of sorry, but with no actual like talking about what he did to the people. I mean, the guy hasn't even said plagiarism yet. He just said, stuff ended up in the videos, and he tried to credit people, but that wasn't enough. And I'm sorry for hurting people. It's just really, really lacking in specifics.
I lost my best friend because of this. Nick and I had been best friends since 2011 or 12. We'd been friends online, and then he lived in Ottawa, and I moved to Ottawa so that we could be like friends in person. And then I moved back to Nova Scotia, and Nick came with me, and then we eventually moved to the Toronto area, and we lived together for 7 years, 8 years. We lived together for a really long time. And he hasn't spoken to me since this happened.
Okay, yeah, it's sad. It is sad. You lose your best friend that you've had for 10 years. And you even moved to, be close to each other. I sympathize with you. I've lost friends. We all have. And yeah, this is sad, but this kind of stuff is not what this video should be about. This is what you talk about with your other friends or your therapist or your family. This is not what you what you lead with in your apology video for something you got called out in front of millions for. You don't talk about like how hard things have been for you, which is what half of this first 6 minutes has been.
Sorry, I said I wasn't going to make this a sob story. I should have got some Kleenex.
And again, he could have cut that out. If he didn't want this to be a sob story, then he could have done another take, or he could have edited this down. Right.
But again, I'm really, really, really sorry for the things that I did in the videos.
Okay, the things that he did in the videos, like he's avoiding it so hard, and if he wasn't ready to confront it, then he shouldn't have made this video. And I mean, he has already deleted the video, so but is it because of that? Is it because he realized that he wasn't ready to talk about it? I don't think so. I think he did it because of the reaction to it.
Copying people's work and not crediting them properly or at all.
Okay. Copying people's work and not crediting them. That's better. That's definitely better. He still hasn't used the word yet.
I also want to apologize for the misinformation and just outright lies that ended up in the videos.
Okay.
I honestly say that I never intended for any of that stuff to be in the videos. In most cases, I didn't write it, but I should have, it was my face on the channel. It was my name on the channel. I should have been.
Okay, so saying that you didn't intend for misinformation and lies to be in your videos, that's, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me. So is he saying that that all the misinformation and lies came from stuff he copied, therefore he didn't know it was misinformation and lies, or it was original stuff, but he didn't write it, which meant that Nick wrote it? So either way, it's not his fault, is what he's saying. That whatever the possibilities is, it is not his fault that misinformation and lies are in the video. That's what he's saying. And look, I don't want to be standing on like some moral high ground, right? We're not all, perfect angels, right? Who am I to judge this guy? I feel like that. And so I don't want to really be here judging. I'm more analyzing how poorly made this video is as part of the historical record of this phenomenon, because this is definitely a significant moment in the history of this platform.
I should have been more diligent about fact checking and stuff, because there was a lot of really stupid shit in there. It's just so easy to check, and I just never did. I just took it for granted. I want to thank H Bomber Guy and his team for setting up the fund. To make some money available for the authors that were wronged, and the journalists and writers. And
this is another example of what he's being criticized for in this apology, is the passive voice, like the authors that were wronged and the journalists that were wronged. And it's not taking responsibility. It's not that I wronged. It's that we're wronged by someone. That was me.
I want to help somehow. I don't know how. I've seen a lot of people online saying how much money I apparently make, and they're way overestimating.
This is irrelevant.
Beyond the fact that Nick and I split everything 50-50.
This is irrelevant.
They're still way overestimating.
You shouldn't be talking about how much money you're making.
And the Toronto area is expensive, so there's not really any kind of savings. I'm moving home.
Okay, so this is really not good, because what he does after this is he talks about how he's going to reopen his Patreon. Less than a month after he shut it down, he's already going to reopen it. Spoilers. And he does that after setting up that he doesn't have any money. That's what he's saying right here. He's saying all the money people say that I make, it's really not that much. And I have to split it with my partner. And also it's really expensive to live here. And so he's just making you feel like, oh no, actually I don't really have much money. And then he's going to talk about his Patreon, how you can support him. And so it feels like guilt tripping. It feels like you're saying, hey, I really don't have the money you guys think I do. So if you want to help me out, here's Patreon. And man, it just comes across really bad. I mean, I don't know how premeditated it is. It's very easy to think that it is, though.
Really soon. Without Nick, there's nothing for me here, and like I said, it's really expensive.
Right? Yeah, you said that.
And so I want to thank them for setting up that fund, and I want to help somehow. The only thing I can think of right now is to make most of the videos public again. And every month I can send the ad revenue from all of the past videos. Because there were plenty that didn't have any uncredited stuff in them.
Okay, so this is like the worst idea. To think that people want his old stuff to go back up. And that he's going to be able to document all of the ad revenue that is made from the videos that have plagiarism in them. I mean, will that include also the videos that, according to him, don't have plagiarism in there? Like, is he going to take that money, or does all the money from all videos on YouTube go to this? And then what are we going to do? Are we going to be checking the guy's, bank statements for the rest of our lives as he continues to donate his YouTube proceeds to charity or to H Bomber Guy to distribute to people on a monthly basis? It's just absurd. It's just such an absurd idea. And I don't think anybody involved in this wants that from him. Some of them are probably even insulted that he would even think that they want him to do that for them.
But I can make them public again, and then every month I can send the AdSense to I can send it to H Bomber Guy's team that they can add to the fund, or I can start a fund myself. And every month I can publicly say how much money was made on the AdSense and show it.
Right. Okay, so he said that some of his videos don't have copy stuff in them. So I don't know. Maybe he's talking about only publishing those ones. Only republish the videos that don't have plagiarized material in them, but then are we just supposed to take his word for it that, oh, it's like those are the ones that don't have plagiarized stuff in them? And then what happens when someone, down the line discovers that they do? It's just it is a crazy idea, and I don't know how it occurred to him to think that was even possible to do.
And send that to the writers and stuff every month. I don't know.
I don't think they want to hear from him.
For that would be, but
it would be a really, really complicated system that no one wants to be involved.
More than happy to do that. Some of the videos, like the killing stalking video, brought in like a pretty decent amount of money every month, so that would be helpful, I think. I also put either in the description or the pinned comment the names of the authors, so that anyone watching the video knows where all of the information came from. That it wasn't me going out doing journalism. I
don't think that's even possible. I mean, does anyone actually believe that this guy has a full record of everyone that he plagiarized in every video for his entire career? That just doesn't. I find that highly, highly unlikely.
I never thought anyone thought that I was doing like journalism and stuff.
All right, now that is a very, very standout line. Okay, journalism. People throw around that term. Anyone who works from like an official news organization down to someone like Philip DeFranco or someone on YouTube who just does news stories, and then there's independent journalists who do their own investigation, like CoffeeZilla. Is he a journalist? I mean, that term gets thrown around a little undefined, and so for him to say, "I never thought anyone thought that I was doing journalism," the way he presented his video essays sounded like it was something that was researched. Right? It's not just opinion pieces. He's not reviewing a piece of media and then talking about it from his own personal knowledge and putting out his own opinions. He was talking about a bunch of historical events, and it sounded like he was putting it together in his own way. And it's his voice. And so when he says, "I didn't think anyone thought I was doing journalism," it sounds like his way of just like excusing himself. It's his way of saying that I didn't think anyone actually thought that I was creating this material, that these were my original thoughts. That's what I think he's really trying to say. And that is just mind-blowing to me. Because we saw in the H. Bomber video that the guy is constantly changing words in his script to make it his own thing, to say things slightly more in his way when really he's just copying them. So he was obviously trying to pass it off as his own thing. And so for him to say that he didn't think anyone thought that he was doing journalism, it's just his way of, he's using that official word to try to disguise the fact that he was just copying people's work and wasn't doing anything original. He's like, "Oh, I'm not a journalist. I don't work for The Guardian, right? I'm not a journalist. So why would you think that what I'm saying here is my own work?" Like that's not okay.
And I don't think anyone did.
Yes, everyone thought
your
stuff
stuff
was
original.
original.
Were doing it should have been given the credit that they deserved. They did the hard work. All I did was edit a video.
All you did was copy their work. All you did was plagiarize them. So it's there's so much minimalization happening here Like, all I did was edit a video. It's like, no, that is not all you did. You did a lot more. You put a lot more effort into compiling other people's work and then changing words here and there to disguise the fact that you were copying people's work. And then you had to put it together into the script, and then you had to do the lighting and do multiple takes in front of the camera. There's so much more to it. It was a massive process to go out of your way to do this. And to just say, all I did was edit a video. I was like, no, you did a lot more than that to make this happen. And so you should just say, if he said all I did was copy it, fine. That would have been okay. But to say all I did was edit a video, no one is even talking about the editing, man.
They did the hard work, and they deserved the credit.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Phone stopped recording.
Good. I'm glad he says that. I'm glad he says that kind of stuff. They did the work. They deserve the credit.
Yes, they deserved credit, and when it was something like the recent history of Hollywood videos, right there in the opening credits, I put Vito Russo's name, that it was adapted from his book.
Like, wow.
Hollywood Closet.
Like, wow. Why is he doing this? Why is he trying to go to individual videos and say, well, here, I tried to do the right thing. Like, this is so bad. I put this guy's name in there. I said it was based on his work. It's like, everyone knows that that's not okay, though. That doesn't mean that you just start reading someone's work and passing it off as your own, which is what everyone thought it was his own, and he knew that people thought that. That's the thing. He can't pretend that he didn't know people thought that these were his creations.
Same thing went for the Gay Panic video and the Gay Holocaust video. The Gay Holocaust video was adapted from 2 books, and the Gay Panic video was adapted from a lot of journalism. And I put their names right at the beginning of the video.
He's saying that his videos had credits saying that they were based on and that they were adapted from, like, as if he was putting on like a Broadway play or making a movie adaptation of a book that is the story. It's like, no, this is him just reading the words from someone's book. And just that he actually thought saying that made it okay. I don't buy it. I don't think that he actually believes that. And we also saw that he wasn't even putting in some of these credits until he got caught a while ago. So he was just doing it anyway and not crediting them. And he only did it because he got caught.
But I understand that that's not how citation works. Now, I understand that.
No, this is what I don't buy. I don't buy that he didn't know that that's not how citation works. I think he should admit that he knew that that's not how citation works. He shouldn't say, I didn't know that you couldn't just read someone's work word for word and then and make people think that it's your own original stuff. It's mind-blowing. He knew. And he should just say that he knew.
And I want to do better. I know a lot of people hate me now. Because I did bad shit.
And that's hard. I feel bad for the guy, like having millions and millions of people that hate
but I
you,
want to try and do better.
and posting about you and making, some really vicious videos. I see these videos online saying, James Somerton is human garbage, and it's like now people are just piling on, and so yeah, this guy's life is probably really rough right now, and it will be for the rest of his life probably. Everyone's gonna recognize him everywhere he goes. Um, so yeah, I feel bad in that case. Guy's having a hard time, but here he's saying that he wants to do better. That's where this takes a hard right turn into problem town.
At some point, I'd like to make videos again.
See, it hasn't even been a month. What's it been? 2 weeks since YouTube exploded, and he's already talking. He's already planning his comeback tour, and this is irrelevant to a video that was called "I'm Sorry." There's so much in here that is about making excuses or minimizing, saying he didn't know, saying how hard things have been for him, how he lost his friend, how he doesn't have much money, and now how he wants to keep making videos. That's why this apology is going down as one of the worst, maybe the worst of all time.
I'd like to do videos.
No one wants him to come back and make videos.
Fully sourced, where I will put a link to the script where you can find all of the sources.
It's just such a bad idea.
Everyone is properly given the credit that they deserve. Any kind of research that's done. Credit for any B-roll that's used, whether it's like stock footage or movies or TV shows or video games or anything like that.
I mean, can you imagine how people are going to jump on him? This guy needs a mental health break. The guy needs to rethink his life. I mean, can you imagine just the first video he puts up? Unless he turns comments off. I imagine the comment section of his first video. Imagine the downvotes. Imagine just the field day people are going to have responding to it and laughing and criticizing on Twitter. It's just not going to go well for him. And I don't think anyone wants him to come back, which is why this is such a fascinating case. I've never seen someone driven off the platform like this, like universally. It doesn't matter if you were a fan or if you weren't a fan, if you're left wing, right wing, if you're part of the gay or bisexual or trans community, or if you're straight or cis or male or female, or it does not matter who you are. Like, everyone is saying this guy shouldn't be making videos. Nobody wants this guy making videos on the platform, and it's just so wild.
Have it all in there. I would like to become a really, really good example.
And that's something I don't buy. That
proper credit.
No, I don't believe that he would really like to become that, because he already would have started becoming that. And he wouldn't have been so defensive before when he was called out for not being that. So I think he only wants to do that now because it's the only way he could possibly save his career.
To writers and journalists.
And no one needs him to be a great example of citing sources. Like, that's not a thing. People are not desperate for that.
And I know a lot of you watching this
Like, can you imagine that? People are like, oh man, you should check out James Somerton's videos, man. The way he cites sources, man, like that guy is a master of citing sources. No one's asking for that.
Or aren't really gonna care, and you would rather I just disappear. But I would like to try to do better. I never, ever intended to hurt anybody. I never.
And that again, intended to hurt anybody. We already talked about that. I don't think he even thought about it. I think he sees that he hurt people, but I don't think he thought about the larger repercussions of what he was doing. So I don't get so upset when he says this.
I thought that's what I was doing. Before I went to the hospital, I read a lot of stuff from people who were really hurt. Not just authors and stuff, but people who watched my videos who were hurt by stuff in them. People think that I hate ace people and women and bisexual people and lesbians, and that's not true.
I don't know how to comment on that stuff. People have other people who are in that community do a better job than I could with it. I've seen people say that we don't think that you hate these people. We think that you have like preconceptions in your head, or you have kind of like things that are like I don't know how to talk about that language. I don't know how to talk about those kind of social political issues in that realm. But yeah, I don't think it's an active hate, like I hate these people, but I think that there's some biases and some preconceptions that he has that has led him to say and do some things that I don't know if harmful is the right word, but certainly not beneficial to certain communities and people who were fans of his work.
Really, it's not true. I'm sorry that stuff made it into videos that just
Stuff made it into videos again. How?
shouldn't have been there. Misinformation and lies. I promise you I did not write that stuff.
That's so. How did he not write anything, any of that? So he didn't write it. So again, either his partner wrote it, or it came from the stuff he copied, and didn't care that he was saying it, even though it was stuff he didn't believe. Apparently, then why did he say it?
I should have been a lot more exacting when Nick and I would be editing scripts, but I promise you that those are not, I don't think those things. I specifically want to apologize to asexual people who feel like I just completely delegitimized you. Nick being ace, I know it's kind of like, no two gay people are exactly the same and no two ace people are exactly the same, but I kind of, when it came to that, I would just kind of run with Nick's judgment and his observations and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to throw Nick under the bus, which a bunch of people were saying that I was setting him up as doing, which is not true.
Well, but if he's saying that the stuff that he said that was harmful to those communities was stuff that he took from his partner, that's blaming his partner, isn't it?
This whole thing, Nick and I were 50-50 partners.
Okay, but so you're 50-50 partners, but everything you said was not your fault because you based it on what your partner said. I don't understand.
It wasn't, I hired him to have a scapegoat or something like that. I never hired Nick.
No one is saying that. No one is saying that you hired someone to have someone to blame.
For years before I started doing YouTube videos. And then people started watching them. And I asked Nick if he wanted to help me write them. And he said yes, and we started splitting first the AdSense, and then the Patreon, and then the sponsorships. We just split everything. Nick was never supposed to be a fall guy. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have waited longer to do this.
Yes, I think everyone is in agreement on that.
But yeah, I don't think those things. And I don't think Nick does either. I think it was just how fast we were writing stuff and how fast we were putting videos out. It was too fast.
It's so weird when he says how fast we were writing stuff when so much of it is plagiarized. And then he says that I don't believe any of that stuff that I said and that we wrote. We were just doing it so fast. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that because it's not just that you write it. It's that you have to, rehearse it, read through it, read it for the camera, and then edit it all together. You have plenty of time to catch if you're saying something that you inside think is like morally reprehensible. I've made mistakes. I've said things that I didn't mean to say it that way, or looking back on it a few years later, I wish I'd said things in different ways. Sure, like it's all part of growing as someone who makes art or journalism or whatever based on your own thoughts and your words. But it's to just kind of put out a blanket statement to say everything I said that was harmful, that I never meant any of it, and I only said it because we were working so fast that I didn't catch it. No, man, come on. Or never edited out, which you can do on YouTube. You can edit out stuff from your videos after you publish.
We weren't putting the care into them that needed to be put into them. I've seen a lot of people on social media and other YouTubers even lying about me, but other
that's gonna happen.
Eight Bomber guy was not one of them. Just want to be clear about that.
This is the fallout.
Except I was never setting Nick up to be a fall guy, and Telos was never a scam. It was never a grift or anything like that. I swear it was not. It is not.
This is his movie production stuff, right?
Send out a message to the Telos supporters on Indiegogo and explain the whole situation.
I think they all just want their money back.
Detail to them because we were not super clear about everything that was going on with Telos, and so I understand.
No, they were not super clear. Like they didn't say anything for months and months and months as they were supposed to be going into production or pre-production of these film projects they had, and the first film that people funded, the the program for that they then canceled and then took the money to start working on something else, and then we haven't seen anything from it for a couple of years, is it? I don't even know why he's talking about this here. Like, those people should just be refunded.
It seems like we weren't doing anything, but we were. We were doing a lot of work on Telos. We just weren't talking about it because we made that initial first announcement for Final Girl, and that fell through, and I'll explain that to the message I send out to the supporters, which I'm sure will end up on Reddit or somewhere.
No one, the thing is, no one cares. Okay, I'm sorry for speaking for everyone, right? But how can you believe a word the guy says when he explains the situation? You can't believe the guy has lost all credibility. Any story he says, whether it's true or not, is not going to be believed. So just don't do it. He just needs to walk away. Refunds should be made if possible, and then just buy.
And after that, we didn't want to talk about it too much until we had something really concrete, and I'll explain all of that in that message.
Come on, Somerton, you're making me sleepy.
Telos was and is not a grift. I was never going to take the money and run. None of the money that came in for Telos was ever going to be paying me or Nick. It was going to be paying queer actors and artists.
I would be curious to see where the money is then. I don't have the information. Maybe somebody will comment about that. I don't know enough about the Telos situation. But how much was raised for that? And where is all that money?
Accusations, things like that. And I know there's been lots of talk about budgets and all of this stuff, and people saying that I'm really stupid for thinking that a movie could be made for that little money, but there are examples of it being done, and I actually do have a work ethic.
Okay, that's like the first moment of anger. You saw that, right? I'm going to look back at that. Watch that.
And I actually do have a work ethic.
Like, that's an anger face right there. That is. Hold on, let me see. Let me pause on that face.
I actually do have a work ethic.
Yeah, like that is a. How dare you accuse me of this face? And at this point, like who are you to get upset that someone is accusing you of fraud, right? It's just there's no way to get indignant over this situation. Be like, I can't believe that after all this, that you would think that I was using this money for myself.
Anyway, but yeah, anyway, I do want to keep making videos, and I know a lot of you won't watch them, and that's fine. But I really liked making videos.
Someone pointed out this part right here. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. It's the co-writer on Sarah Zed's videos. What's Lady Emily, right? Lady Emily on Twitter. She pointed out, I think it was her. If it wasn't her, I apologize. But she pointed out that this is like one of the moments where he looks the saddest in his video.
To keep
like the guy looks.
I know a lot of you won't.
The guy looks sadder about the fact that he can't make videos than the actual plagiarism. See?
I do want to keep making videos, and I know a lot of you won't watch them, and that's fine. But I really liked making videos.
Right? Like, that's the saddest he gets in this video, but when it's talking about his own career. That's why this apology is
we ended up making a lot of videos we didn't want to make.
He said we made. He said we made.
We ended up making a lot of videos we didn't want to make.
Okay.
Because people were asking for them, and so there were a lot of videos we made that we didn't want to make, and I think those videos are very clear on which ones those were.
I don't even know what is the relevance of that.
One of them never got officially released. It was released to patrons. Some patrons have shared it to other people before all the videos went private. And a lot of people hate the analysis that Nick and I did on it.
Okay. So I just don't see the relevance of any of this.
And so maybe it's good that never got properly released, because maybe it would have hurt people. And I don't want that. But I do want to make videos again.
This is the third time that he's said, I want to make videos again.
I'd love to do like retrospectives on important gay movies. If you watch the channel Be Kind Rewind, they're an amazing channel that do a lot of retrospectives on older Hollywood movies, and I would love to do that for gay movies. A lot of gay movies, people my age and younger just have never heard of. Things like Torch Song Trilogy and Long Term Companion and stuff like that. Movies from the 70s and 80s and the 90s. And
I think there's already going to be plenty of people in this space. I imagine that just the exposure of this guy's plagiarism, given the topics he covered, will probably give a boost to other creators that cover these sorts of things. I would hope that's the case. I don't think anyone needs him to come back and save the day with a redeemed version of his channel covering these topics, when I'm sure there's plenty of people who are already covering them and doing them better and are hopefully seeing, a boost in viewership due to just a general conversation of these topics as a result of the H Bomber Guy video.
Really influential for gay cinema that no one talks about.
Oh, that only he can talk about. So he's selling you on his value right here. He's like, I want to talk about all this other stuff that nobody talks about. So he's like, see, like, you need me to be back here. And just, man, it's so tasteless.
And, I'd like to talk about those, not just those movies, but how they got made and stuff like that.
Like he's an expert. Like he's some kind of expert when his whole career is based on copying other experts. What is he doing?
I would love to do something like that. I swear on my mother's grave.
No, don't do that.
That there will be no copying people. There will be no copy and pasting.
Did you see the Little Joel video? That was the first thing I saw before I even saw the apology, was Little Joel just saying, no, don't swear on your mother's grave, no.
Every source will be cited.
It doesn't
document.
It doesn't matter.
And on screen.
It's too late, man. You can't come on here 2 weeks after and use your apology video, which I mean, it's 35 minutes. How much of this has been actually about plagiarism and about the victims and about it's all about how he wants to come back and make videos and how hard things have been for him. And it's, man, it doesn't matter what he says about how I promise to the gods above, may lightning strike me if I lie. Like, it's like, what do these words mean? These words don't mean anything. Like, if you don't do what you say you're gonna do, I mean, your mother's corpse isn't gonna come out of the ground and haunt you. Like, these words don't mean anything. They are emotionally manipulative. And I just don't see, no one's going to believe it.
Because I actually liked doing research.
No, he didn't. He didn't do research. He didn't do research. He found other people's work and said, I like that. I'll use it. That's not research.
I loved doing research, reading the books and articles and stuff like that. The part of me that was lazy was the copy and paste part. Instead of just putting it into my words and just citing them properly and giving them credit, that's where...
So, like, the guy says that this was laziness. He's saying, yeah, this was laziness on my part for copying and pasting. But in the same video, he talks about how, like, I didn't think anyone thought that I was doing journalism, and I put a credit in there saying that this was based on, and like, giving all these justifications for the format he was using, which was plagiarize everything. That was his format. He was to copy everything and say it as if they were his words. He already gave defenses for it and how he didn't think anyone thought that he was doing journalism. But then he turns around and says what I was doing was lazy. Which is it, man?
That's where the laziness came in. That was it. I wasn't trying to be malicious. That was just laziness.
He better not say I want to do videos. I
promise again. For anyone who does watch the videos that I make going forward.
I mean, is he dead set on doing this? Because he already deleted this video. So who knows? But I mean, everyone around him has to be telling him, do not do this.
So that will never happen again. And I welcome the highest level of scrutiny.
People are going to hound you
on the new videos
eternally. They're not just going to troll you for 6 months. Like, it will be forever. It's such a bad idea. How much more is this? Oh my God, 8 more minutes. 7.
As for Patreon, I'm going to reactivate it.
Oh, God. What a bad idea.
Because I saw a lot of people on social media saying that I was probably going to reactivate it right on January 1st so that everyone could get a surprise billing and I could take the money and run. And no. First of all, that was never my plan, and I'm not going to do it.
And again, like, he's so offended by that people would think that. You know, look, man, people are going to accuse you of a lot of stuff. They're going to suspect that you would do a lot of stuff after this. After stealing people's work for so many years and having, like, a fundraiser for projects that never got off the ground. and saying that you needed people to join your Patreon or you wouldn't have a place to live. Which Dan Olson, let me go ahead and put that up on screen. Oh no, he deleted it. The video's deleted, so the comment's gone. Actually, if I search Dan Olson, Folding Ideas, everyone should watch Folding Ideas, great channel. When you said your channel was teetering on the edge of extinction and then replaced your Ursa Mini Pro G2 with an FX6 a few weeks later, was that a lie about your financial situation or just a profoundly reckless use of money that your patrons believed was intended to keep you from being homeless? Ouch. Because I think that's like a $5,000 camera or something. Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Activate it now so that anyone who wants to leave, which I imagine will be the vast majority, can leave and not have to be worried about being billed again in January.
So, like, that is, to me, this is the scummiest part. Instead of just leaving the thing shut down, he's going to reopen it and say in an apology video that is now deleted, by the way, that you have, 9 days, 10 days to cancel your patron subscription before you get billed again, instead of just leaving it shut down. And that anyone who wants to leave can leave. Unless you want to stay and support him, or unless you just don't have a chance or don't think to, or you forget to cancel your subscription, and then you end up giving him money that you didn't want to. Dude, this is so scummy. Look, if you're going to have a Patreon, you start a new one. You shut this down for good. You start a brand new Patreon. If you're really going to do this, come back to video production, and you're going to do a Patreon, you got to start a brand new one. But he shouldn't, because he shouldn't come back to making videos. Nobody wants that. But that's the only acceptable way to do this. You don't keep the current one going and then give people a week to cancel after you shut it down, and they don't even know that you're going to reopen it. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Can you guys see how this is just a disaster? What a disaster.
In closing, I am, again, incredibly sorry. And again, I'm not sorry because I was caught. I'm sorry because I honestly didn't know how much I was hurting people. And how much harm I was bringing to the community, because that's not ever what I intended. I wanted the channel to be a safe place. I spent so much time deleting comments that were hateful. I've recently found out that I wasn't being notified about that I wasn't seeing comments that were in replies to other comments, so there were plenty of hateful comments in the comment section that I wasn't seeing that were plenty hateful.
Yeah, I don't even know how you moderate that.
I know that.
I don't know how, like, if you're trying to make a safe space for people, I don't know how you would even moderate responses to other people's comments. So yeah, I don't even know how you would do that. That would be a nightmare.
But I wanted the channel to be a safe place. And it ended up not being a safe place. And for the misinformation, that kind of falls into two categories. One, I did the wrong research into historical things, and other things, they're not what I wrote.
I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm just kind of in shock from the whole thing.
Again, thank you to H Bomber Guy and his team for making the fund for the writers. I'd like to try to contribute to that somehow.
Nobody wants that.
If it's okay to make the videos public and send all of the public again, and send all, it won't be all the videos because some of them had to be taken down because sponsors wanted them.
Yeah. Down. I would imagine so.
But I can put the videos back up with the sources properly put in, either for the, I guess for the videos that would be going.
It's just like if you re-upload stuff, or if you make old stuff public again, the whole tracking revenue and then sending it to people, and then like, what about your future videos? Like, people coming to your old videos, and that money goes to the victims. Well, those same people might stick around and watch your new videos. So this is just something that's ultimately going to benefit you more than it is anyone who gets a small percentage of whatever revenue is made on an older video. I mean, you got to see that that's a problem, right? Like, it in the end, it would benefit him more than anyone else. And so I think anyone who is hurt by what he did would rather he just stay out of it.
From zero, I could actually put sources like in the videos, which would be good.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
For the other ones that would just be made live again, I could put them in a pinned comment, because I think people read pinned comments more than they read the descriptions. Descriptions like disappear in a lot of places.
You should have scripted this.
Something like that, something so that I can try and. It won't make up for what I did, but it's just something. So I'm really, really, really sorry. I hurt a lot of people that I really respect, and that really sucks.
That's, and that is another big point that H Bomber Guy made. It's like, he doesn't respect them. He stole their work because he doesn't respect them. So, just saying, I hurt people that I really respect. No, you hurt people, like people whose work you like. It doesn't mean that you respect them. That's very different. You can like what someone produces and not respect them, and that's what he does.
And
maybe that he admires, but not that he respects.
Nick, if you're watching this, I don't, you're probably not, but I want you to know I miss you. And
you got a dog outside during this section. Isn't that's wonderful?
Yeah, I want to do better. I want to do better. I want to prove that I can do better. I don't expect anyone to just give me the benefit of the doubt.
The conclusion of this cannot be his plea to come back. There's only a minute left, minute and a half. You better pull this around and focus on what he did, and instead of pleading to come back. That can't be how he ends this.
But I want to show that I can do better. So I hope you'll let me do that.
No, this is just... It can't end with, please give me another chance. It's because, like, people in the YouTube space are particularly pissed about this, and H Bomber Guy framed it in the right way. Is that it disrespects the entire process of what content creators try to do. Content creator, we throw that word around. YouTuber, we throw that word around, right? But just speaking from my own personal experience, I mean, I'm nobody compared to the vast ecosystem that's out there. But the work that it takes to actually put together like a properly made, thoughtful piece, like a 40-minute video or an hour-long video on a big topic, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of thought. It consumes you. You can end up spending 16 to 17-hour days daily just to try to get something right. It can take months to put together something that you feel is right. And what he was doing is just a complete disrespect to the entire, quote unquote art form of video creation, of like video essays. Because I think there is an art to it, right? It's entertainment, it's educational, there's editing involved, there's timing, there's delivery, there's pacing, right? There's an art to it like there is in putting together an episode of a TV show. And what he did was just a complete mockery, and what Illuminati does, and what Internet Historian did with his man cave, and any of the examples that were put forth, they're examples of a complete mockery of what people pour their hearts and souls into, while the vast majority of them struggle to see any kind of success from it. And that's why I think people on the content creation side are particularly pissed off about this topic. It disrespects the entire thing.
Again, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about the things I did. I'm sorry that I disappointed you.
I did and disappointing you. I'm sorry about the things I did and disappointing you.
I promise.
And it ends with a plea to come back.
Forward.
Going forward, I'll be a good boy.
I will do better.
This is going to end on a plea for a second chance.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, it ends on a plea for a chance to come back and make more videos. Really bad, man.
And I'm really sorry.
Well, that was something. I hope you enjoyed the reaction video. Like I said, for any regular viewers of mine, don't worry, I'm not going to start getting into reaction content. This was just a special case. And like I said, it was one that I kind of had a personal investment in because it has to do with what I dedicate a lot of my life to, which is if you'll allow me to use the word art form, I will. But making these videos about things that we're passionate about, and hopefully contributing to something positive, and hopefully inspiring some people in some way, or helping, or just entertaining. Because I'm on that side of things, I felt like I had something to say on this. I don't know if I really added anything to the conversation, but I just wanted to get it out there, and maybe you guys would find the reaction entertaining. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching.